Okay, welcome along for a quick update in what is now being called Aftermath, the latest chapter in the ongoing narrative after Salvation's failed attempt to wipe out the Thargoids. On my video channel, if you go to playlists, you will see there is a new playlist called Aftermath, where all videos relating to that will be put, just as all the videos relating to the Azimuth saga were put in the Azimuth Saga playlist. So if you quickly want to find my lore videos in amongst the other videos I do, go to the playlists, and in there will be everything that is relative to whichever chapter of this ongoing story you want to look at. So it's been a bit quiet, the calm after the storm. We've had a community goal where Sirius are forging ahead with their military deal with the Alliance, and they wanted materials to build new anti-Xeno megaships with, and one ship would be built for every tier of the CG reached. It only reached tier 2, and there's a few different possibilities as to why. Firstly, people don't like Sirius very much, although players who don't care about the lore and just want to make some money and join a community event, any community event, won't care about that, but it might explain some of the lack of take-up on the CG. And secondly, these megaships aren't actually very good at fighting Thargoids, even with experimental weapons fitted. So I must admit, when I saw this CG, I thought that it was more about paying lip service to the idea of some kind of defence than actually mounting an effective one. And it smacks of Edmund Mahon and Sirius trying to justify their deal with each other more than anything else, more than any kind of effective or lasting solution or counter to whatever the next phase in this war is going to be. Salvation has been confirmed dead in two Galnet articles. This one, where Azimuth hired specialists to go through the wreckage of their megaships, and they found what was left of Salvation on the Bright Sentinel, dead in his chair. And this article here from Azimuth formally declaring him dead and talking about how they intend to move forward. So conspiracy theories remain, with some people believing he's still alive and this is all a cover-up. But I think for me, as with Theta 7, I'm happy to assume that he is dead and his part is done. To have some shock twist where he's somehow survived, I think would be milking it to the point where it turns to cheese. Okay, more cheese. A retrial has been requested, along with a judicial review for Admiral Tanner, who was convicted after trying to invade T-Tory and kick down Salvation's door without any authority to do so. The fact that he was right about Salvation doesn't change his forced and illegal entry of the system for me, though. And I know that what's politically convenient often trumps the law, but for me it shouldn't. It only allows people to escape accountability and sets a dangerous precedent. Nobody should be allowed to kick down anybody's door on suspicion alone. End of. Do that, and you may as well throw out all the laws, the right to legal representation and due process. Take all that, throw it out the window, and go back to ducking stools, burning at the stake, and lynch mobs, where an accusation is all you need to kill anybody that you don't like. Anybody wishing for that is an utter moron, because it means that anybody could also do it to you. Nobody sane would support that, and so, yeah. Then again, if politics decides to trump the law, when has politics ever been sane, right? And finally, on this catch-up of what news we've had so far, is this article where there is a growing fear amongst the in-game general public that a full-scale Thargoid assault is on its way as payback for trying to wipe them out. The only person who disagrees with this theory and offers any kind of alternative is the ex-Aegis professor, Albert Ezro, and she thinks it may simply be them taking a more aggressive approach to protecting their meta-alloys, and doesn't necessarily mean an invasion, but we will see. Which brings us to this week. Everyone is talking about this because we might be seeing a tie-in to this article from a week ago, and the Salvation video that is still playing when you log into the game, and it's about the roaring sound that we hear at the end of that video and what could have made it. So around Monday night, early Tuesday morning, a few streamers and other players started seeing this moving red-orange dot, which appears to be somewhere in the permit-locked cone sector, and apparently making its way towards a bubble. Now, whether it's constantly moving, or whether it just moves a little bit each day, is a matter of debate, with lots of arguments going on about the speed of light, hyperspace, and various other theories about how it's either following or defying known physics. But the area where you can see it from is between the permit-locked regions around Barnard's Loop, and for the first time, players have been getting hyperdicted there. So we have a new area where hyperdictions are happening, and there may be more such areas to discover. I'll put a list of systems you can go to if you want to see this for yourself. It's Odyssey only, I believe, but feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. As you are going to an area surrounded by permit-locked areas, your best bet is to take the longest range ship that you have and plot to Shenv first, and then go above or below the plane to bypass the permit zones and get to the area you need to be to see this thing. Some of the jumps to the area are around 65 light years, so make sure you've either got Jumponium or the range to get there. I took my 70 light year Asp Explorer, my beloved Clio, who's featured in most of my videos, dropped down about 2 or 3 jumps below Shenv, and then I was able to plot straight to the area, and for me that was about 20 jumps. Here at Shenv, if you go into the FSS and point towards Barnard's Loop, you can hear a strange throbbing noise. So let's have a listen. Some people are saying you can even hear it in the bubble, so give it a try wherever you are. Go into the FSS, look towards Barnard's Loop, and see if you can pick up the noise. When you get to the area, you can see the object clearly. Zoom in on the object, and this is what you see: a spiral shape with green and blue tendrils coming from it. The green and blue have been a theme for the last few weeks, with blue relics being turned green by Thargoid technology, and the Proteus wave being blue when Salvation fired it, and green when the Thargoids took it over and fired it back. The obvious conclusion is that this is some kind of Thargoid mothership, hive ship, whatever you want to call them, possibly very similar to the mothership that Jameson first shot the Mycoid missile at all those years ago at the end of the first Thargoid war. Maybe we're going to see one of these things for the first time. Has this hive mothership, if that's what it is, has it assimilated some Guardian technology at some point? Is that why it has blue tendrils as well as green tendrils? Lots and lots of questions, no answers as yet. As usual, we're all playing the waiting game and getting out the tinfoil while we wait. If it's coming to the bubble, where's it going to hit? Is it going to go to HIP 22460? That would seem the most logical place to back up the forces already there. But other people have speculated that it could hit Sol, or indeed anywhere it wants to. When it was originally spotted, people calculated that it would be in the bubble within 60 hours, and that would bring it here just in time for the maintenance tick tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. So it might happen tomorrow that something may come of this, or what they might do is they may wait until the update 14, which we believe is going to be in September sometime, and that is also when the 4.0 code base is going to be given to all the Horizons people, so that they'll get the same planet tech as everybody in Odyssey, and and if they can't see this thing now, perhaps they'll be able to see this thing then. So they might wait until the maximum number of people can see it before revealing what it is and why it's here. So perhaps something will happen in the morning, or perhaps we'll have to wait another couple of weeks, and perhaps there'll be more Galnet stuff coming out, and maybe a couple of community goals to do to keep us occupied until they decide to give us more information about what this thing is, where it's going, and what, as far as anybody can tell, its intentions might be. But yeah, that's quite scary. You know, if that's a Thargoid mothership or a Thargoid hide ship, it is absolutely massive. It's huge. And I, for one, am seriously looking forward to seeing a Hive mothership in the game, and I know I'm not alone on that. But yeah, fingers crossed something interesting will happen tomorrow, but also be prepared to wait another couple of weeks. There's various planets in the system where you can land and have a look at it. Drive up to the top of the mountain, well, like I'm doing here, and then get out on foot and just have a look. And with the atmosphere of this planet as well, it looks quite nice. So until anything further happens, this has just been a quick update from me to let you know that this thing is here. It's obviously been put here so that we all think, oh my god, something's coming, what is it? What's it going to do when it gets here? And as I know more, you will. So there might be a video going up tomorrow, or it could be another week or so before I put another video up, because I tend to sort of highlight the what I see as the main events, you know, rather than the what I think of as the gap filler events until those main events happen. But stay tuned, because we don't know what's coming, and FDF have also said that they're not going to spoon feed us everything, so there will be things that we'll have to go out there and discover for ourselves. Players are already looking around in the area to see what they can find, and should they turn up anything interesting, I shall let you know. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care of yourselves out there in the black.